pre-roast the seeds. And by doing that, we can create color to the beer. As you have a look at that poster over there, you see Heineken is famous for its golden color. And this is because we do it for a very brief or slight moment. The more air we blow over it, the darker the beer gets. That's how it works. So we stop that process as well. And what we then do is we crack open the malted barley, and then the sugars of the seeds are being released into the liquid, which you can see right over here in the middle. So the sugars are being freed. And then we filter everything, and we end up with a sweet liquid, which is known as wort. And that sounds difficult, but it's something you can try the next room, okay? It's very healthy, cures a flu and a hangover. So if you had a long night in Amsterdam, I recommend stopping by over there, okay? It's really good, and you probably feel better right away. Or at least I hope. Thanks. And what we then do is we add the hops. And the hops, it's family of marijuana plant. It doesn't give the same effect, so don't try to steal some of it, try to smoke it afterwards, it doesn't work, okay? But does any of you ever seen a hops plant before? Some of us have. What do you remember of the plant?
It's like green, small green, look like weed actually.
It's like a bit similar, but it's like a tall plant, right? It grows up in strings. Have a look upon that poster right over there in the back. This is a hops plant, and it's quite an interesting plant. It can grow 30 centimeters a day, up to 10 meters high in total. And the majority of the hops comes from the United States, sir. So if you want to start your own hops plant, you can start right over there. And of this plant, we only use the female part because it contains lupulin and it extends the shelf life of the product. So therefore, we don't need to use any artificial ingredients. The beer is 100% natural. And then have a look. Then we come on to the last and most important ingredient, which is the secret A yeast. This is like a family recipe. This is the secret ingredient, like your grandma's cake. No one knows the ingredient except them, the ones who get it on later. So this is the secret ingredient, and this is a microcelled organism. It sounds very difficult, but it simply eats the sugars from the malted barley, like I just explained, and makes two things out of it. The first one is carbon dioxide, the bubbles, and the second one is probably the most important part of the beer, which is the alcohol. Very good, guys. Wonderful group over here. It's the alcohol. And this process takes up to 28 days, the fermentation process, and then we have the Heineken beer. And this ingredient is making it into a Heineken beer rather than an Amstel, but like you name it, Peroni. So this is the secret ingredient, and as you can see, it's behind lock and key. So don't try to steal it right now. I know your faces by now. I will chase you in Amsterdam and I will find you, bring it back right over here. You guys just stick to drinking beer, okay? We'll make it for you. So thank you guys for everything.
Look at your beer, a couple of things are very apparent immediately. See the beautiful golden color because of the slightly roasted barley, caramelization traveling up trying to escape, but it's not possible to do so because of the foam layer. This is why the foam layer is so important. It keeps the caramelization on the inside of your beer and oxygen on the outside. If oxygen is able to interact with the golden part of your beer, it affects the smell, the color and the taste, and nobody wants that, of course. Furthermore, talking about the smell, experts say if you have a good nose, so this is a very crucial moment in your life, you're going to find out whether you have an expert nose. You'll be able to pick up on some slight banana-like aromas because of the special A yeast. Unfortunately, I cannot have a massive career in beer. My nose is not good enough, but maybe I have some future beer connoisseurs standing in front of me today. Furthermore, guys, once you start drinking your beer, it's very important that you take big sips. Otherwise, you're just drinking the foam layer. After you take a sip of a Heineken beer, the foam layer should reappear on top, protecting it once again. Last but not least, drinking is a social sport, and therefore every time before you should say we're in Holland, right? So we're gonna say it in Dutch, of course. And we say proost. So I want to see all the beers up in the sky, and on the count of 3, the best proost I've heard all day. 1, 2, 3. Proost! Good job, guys. You can all keep your beers. Please follow me to the other side of the room, where you'll be able to finish your beers in peace. Once you're done, you can leave the glasses in the glass collectors and head over